you guys? Hope all is going well. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm making this video not just for you guys, but I'm making this for myself too. So, I moved down to Florida about a little over 4 years ago. At the time, I was dating a girl. We had been together for about 3 years. I met her in Miami, and because I used to live here a while back, even before this, for about 6 months, and then I moved back to Ohio. I met her, we started dating, we did the long distance thing, and I got into graduate school. I got my master's degree down here at FIU. So it just made sense for me to move down here for a lot of different reasons. So I did. I drove down, put the dog, at the time I was driving a tiny little 10-year-old Acura. I put everything in my car, even including my dog, and I moved down to South Florida. And I really didn't think that I was going to live here very long, but whatever. I moved down here, and 4 years later, I'm still here. So I want to share with you my experience since I've been down here. So guys, I grew up in the Midwest. I lived there a good part of my life in Ohio. And moving down here was really a crazy experience, because about a month or two after I moved down here, I broke up with my girlfriend. All right. And I was working a lot, and I was going to grad school, so I was really busy. And I started going on Seeking Arrangement and finessing girls a lot. Okay? And I'm not judging myself, or I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just telling you what happened. So I was doing that, and I stopped doing that and just tried to meet girls regularly. And I get a lot of dates and go out with a lot of girls, but I just found that for the most part, people were very broken here. And I never really liked Florida. I don't like flat. I don't like the beach. It's just not that great. It gets very old very quick. I like more of a rugged, masculine place. Like, I'm more of a mountain guy, forest guy. I found the people to just be very vapid here. Very fake, very status conscious. Very into what brand of clothing they have, what kind of car they have, what kind of job they have, how much money they have, how many and I really found that the closer I got to Miami, like Brickell, that area, Miami, downtown, midtown, that it almost was a haven for social media influencers, whether it was OnlyFans or just, I used to see, I've seen Patrick Bet David before, I've seen Adam, I've seen all these guys, like, I've seen all these guys, all right? I've seen Justin Waller, all these guys, not like I'm talking about, I've seen them around. They're all down here. And I just found that, I did engage in that a little bit, and I quickly realized that was not what I wanted. I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and I needed to just get over that. And it did help me get over it, but it also really helped me see the reality of dating down here. I'll never forget I was in grad school and I was taking night classes, and I was getting out, and it was maybe 10 o'clock at night. We're down near Brickell, which is the financial district here. And I see a girl that's maybe 25 years old out with a guy like my dad's age, like in his 60s. You know, coming from the Midwest, like that was a shock to me. I've never really seen that before. And that I made a comment to one of the other students. I'm like, holy shit, like, look at this. And the guy's like, oh, that's welcome to Florida. That's how it is down here. You know, if you don't have money, you're in the wrong place. And you know, that memory really stuck with me because I had found, so there are certain other things that had happened to me. I was going to my buddy's place for New Year's, and I had to stop at the Walgreens to get something on the way to get to his house. And I see this very attractive girl walking to her car. I'm getting out of my car. Not that it should matter, but like my car was a lot nicer than hers. You'll know why I'm telling you that. So I start. I start talking to her, and she looks to be like maybe a little bit younger than me. She was 31, I'm 36, and she asked me, how old are you? I said, I'm 36, and she's like, oh, I don't date guys in their 30s. I'm thinking, like, what do you mean? She's like, I only date guys in their mid 40s to 50s. And I understood what that meant. It meant she's looking for a guy with money. A lot of money. Even though clearly I have more than she does because I'm driving a way nicer car than her, and I make good money. Alright? But I'm not making enough money to where, because she wants to be totally provided for. And women down here have that mindset, guys. They have the mindset that they're going to meet a millionaire, and he's going to roll out the red carpet, and they're going to have life on Easy Street. They're going to live in a penthouse on the beach, driving a red Porsche, and that lifestyle is disgusting to me because, again, I'm not a beach guy, and I don't give a fuck about sports cars. You know, I just don't care. Like, I drive a Lexus SUV, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. Fine. So, you see that this is the culture here. This is the culture. It's a culture of vapidness, of fakeness, and of mass immigration. I mean, there's places around here that people don't speak any English. And because of the way that I look, I could be Hispanic. I mean, I have like an ethnic look to me. It's clear that I have something Middle Eastern, Mediterranean about me. I mean, you don't get my skin color and my facial features without some sort of a Mediterranean background. So I don't look like a regular white person. So people would constantly speak Spanish to me, and I don't speak Spanish. Like, I don't know what they're saying. So it's like that. There's places where nobody speaks anything but Russian, you know, like Sunny Isles. And so everyone, it's almost as if the more diverse that it is, the more segregated it is, which is interesting. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because a lot of times people will criticize you and say that, you know, well, you're going after the wrong girls. You know, why don't you try going to a yoga class? Why don't you try meeting a girl at the library? Why don't you try meeting a girl at the grocery store? And I would answer them, have you tried that? Because I have. And I'm 6 feet tall, I'm 185 pounds. I work out 5 days a week. I do jiu-jitsu every day. I make over 6 figures. My metrics, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to get you to understand that, like, I have most of what women are looking for. I check a lot of the boxes, and I know that I do. But it doesn't matter. It's like what they're looking for is something that's unobtainable. They have if you think that you make a few $100,000 a year and you're successful in Des Moines, Iowa, or Columbus, Ohio, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or, you know, Roanoke, Virginia, and you're gonna come down to Miami and get these super hot girls, I'm telling you, you're fucking wrong. You're gonna be sadly disappointed. The traffic here is outrageously bad. You have nothing but Latinos from South America that can't drive, old people, New Yorkers that are extremely aggressive, and that combination is not good. Just to give you an idea, my car insurance tripled since I got, and I have 0 points on my record. I have a 730 credit score. I just checked today. So it's not me, it's where I live. And like I said, I don't drive some crazy sports car. I drive a fucking Lexus SUV. Alright? You have the amount of flash that you have to show to attract women down here is absolute insanity. And if you're not, I'm just not that way. I'm just not. And so what I'm trying to say is this, like, you should always look at yourself first and see, like, what am I not doing right? Because a lot of times it's true that we're not doing what we're supposed to do. But I would argue that if you're hearing the same thing from many different guys, you're hearing it on YouTube, you're hearing it amongst your friends, you're hearing it amongst just guys that you run into, and they seem like legitimate guys to you, then maybe there's something maybe it's not just you, and maybe it's the culture that's complete shit. Alright, this place is overcrowded. Every single place you go, you have to pay to park. You're going to spend 15 minutes just looking for a parking spot to go to the fucking beach. And when you go to the beach, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find people blasting their music, all tattooed up, roided out of their minds, mean mugging you, ready to fight you within a blink of an eye for looking at their girl too long. You know, it's just not a healthy place. It's a very chaotic, stressful place. This is a place where if you're very wealthy and older and like established and you've got, you know, all your ducks in a row, it's a great place. If you're kind of retired and you don't have to go anywhere, you know, the traffic isn't really a factor for you, come move down here. Find yourself a nice, you know, young girl and spoil her, you know. But if you're a guy in your 20s, in your 30s, and I would even argue maybe even early 40s, like this is, and you're not making at least like a few $1,000,000 a year, and you're willing to spend it, dude, go elsewhere. Go elsewhere, because you are going to just be hitting your head against a brick wall. And I mean, look at me. I'm going somewhere, and it's going to take me an hour and 20 minutes to get there because of the traffic, because of the Latinos, because of the fucking old people, because of the New Yorkers. That all that combination is just nothing but car accidents every day, all day. Doesn't matter what time. It's stressful, you know. So, guys, don't move down. This has just been my experience. My experience has just really been that it's a place where there's a lot of broken people trying to find other broken people in an attempt to fix themselves. It's a sunny place for shady people. That's what it is down here. And if you have any amount of self-awareness, of intelligence, of an appreciation for depth and weight and things that really matter, you're not going to want to be here. I can't see how anybody could want to live here. Not to mention the fact that the summers are unbearably hot. They're awful. This is no place to live. It's a cesspool. And I'm going to leave you with this. You know, there was a story in the Bible. I'm not a religious guy, but you know, I don't care wherever there's applicable wisdom, I take it. You know, I take what works and I leave the rest with everything. That's not me doing it. See? Diversity, immigration, wonderful thing. So what you find is this. God said to Abraham, I'm gonna destroy the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham says, what if I can find 100 righteous men? God says, okay, fine, you go find me those 100 righteous people and I'll spare the city. Abraham comes back and says, what about 50? God says, all right, 50, that you got a deal. Then Abraham says, what about 10? And God says, all right, 10. Abraham can't find 10 righteous people, right? God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. So what I'm saying, am I saying that there's no righteous people here? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, sometimes you have to take the magnifier glass off of yourself and look at the environment and determine, is this a healthy place for me? And if the answer is no, you probably need to leave. It's probably not you. It's probably that you're in a really shitty fucking place with shitty people and a shitty culture with shitty values. And the longer you sit in that fucking shithole, the more pissed off. Either two things are going to happen. Either you're going to be a recluse, a hermit, because you just don't want to even engage with it, which is what I've done, and that's not good, because it makes you angry, it makes you despondent, it makes you closed off. You know, I basically live a Spartan lifestyle. I go to the gym, I go to jiu-jitsu, I go to work, that's it. That's it. Every now and then I go out to dinner with a friend. And I'm not gonna lie, that's no way to live. That's not a balanced life. Like, you can't do that forever. Maybe for a couple of years, you might need to do that for a couple of years, depending upon where you're at and where you're at in your journey. But there's more to life. There's relationships, there's community, there's a higher quality of people to meet, and there's better women out there. I mean, I've traveled the world, dude. I've seen it. I've met them. You know, this fuckboy, Instagram influencer, OnlyFans, seeking arrangement it's so fucking dysfunctional. And I can make a whole video on why not to fuck with those type of people, because I've done it. And so I know what's on the other side. I've been there, I've done it, I've tasted it, I've scratched that itch. And I know the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, like, you gotta have the courage to do what most people won't do, which is leave your fucking comfort zone and get the fuck on out. Because the longer you stay there, the harder it is to leave. This is what us humans do. We dig a hole, and then what do? We fucking decorate. That's what we do. So don't do that shit. Like, really, really understand that, like, you're gonna fucking die. And whatever the fuck you think you're doing, that's so, like, whatever excuses you're giving yourself of why you're not doing what you need to do, understand that that's all they fucking are, guys. Is they're just fucking excuses. So, don't be fearful of death. Be fearful of never having fucking lived, because you don't want to have the regrets of what life could have been, what you could have been, but you were too chicken shit and scared, and so you placated yourself, or tried to placate yourself with luxuries or with comfort or with fake responsibilities that don't really exist, but you're trying to just lie to yourself because you don't want to actually fucking take the necessary steps to be happy. That's what I'm trying to get across, and again, I'm saying this to myself because I've been feeling this way for a long fucking time, and maybe I'm not. I don't believe that I'm the only one that feels this way. I believe that what I'm saying is probably true for a lot of people, and maybe a lot of people don't know how to articulate it or express it because they're afraid to, because they're afraid that people are gonna disagree with them and tell them that they're wrong and that it's them and that they're the ones that are fucked up. But I'm telling you, like, it's not true. It's not true. Like, what you're seeing, and if you keep seeing the same thing, maybe you need to fucking act on what you're seeing. Maybe you're not delusional, right? That's it. I know I've ranted long enough. This is a little bit longer than I usually make a video for, but needed to get it out. So